Hey everybody, it's David. I'm in the process of grading your papers this week, and what I wanted to do, I introduced to you all in Module 2 in my grading on your papers a process called that I call the six-stop process of paper writing, and it involves six different steps along this writing pathway, if you will, that will help you format and flow your papers. And so this week, as I'm looking at your papers, some of you have been able to grasp this concept, and others remain challenged in this area. So what I thought I would do is just create a template, if you will, to help demonstrate how I would, if I was writing this particular paper, begin to use and implement this six-stop process going forward. Okay? And so I don't ask you to follow this, what I'm going to talk about in a minute, but just to understand these things, I don't want to have you just begin to drop your stuff into the templates that I provide, because that takes away some of your academic freedom. But I just wanted to demonstrate for you how this six-stop process can work as it relates to this particular exercise. And so you see my cover page here. I have a descriptive heading for this. I talk about adult students returning to college, issues and opportunities. That's what I would do if I was approaching this. And then I have my running head up here. If your running head, by the way, is this long and it won't fit up here, then you can't abbreviate your running head. So I just put adult students returning to college, okay? Then you'll see the abstract here. The abstract, I have some descriptive information there. But then the first thing that you do, which is stop one, the first stop on the six-stop process is to introduce your paper. Now in APA, you do not use introduction as a heading. That's just one of the little quirks of APA. But this is where you're going to introduce the reader to the purpose of your paper. So you make a few general, now not detailed, because the detail comes in the body of your paper, but you make a few general comments up here, and then you tell the reader specifically the purpose of your paper. And this is where clarity steps in. This is where you say the purpose of this paper is to, and then you're very, very specific there. So that is stop one of the six-stop process. Now the heading that I chose to use for stop two, which is setting the foundation. So before you jump into talking about things, you need to set a foundation. If you're going to talk about adult students, well, who are these adult students? This is where you provide this foundation and define some terms. Who are these students? How old are they? What stage of life are they in? Are they working? Are they not working? What other types of demographic data can you find? And I tell you, you can find this at the CSU Online Library. And this is where you use your research sources, again, to begin to establish for the reader that these adult students are different than traditional students, the traditional 18 to 22-year-old. And so that's the first place I would begin to set the foundation, or stop two along the way. Now, once you've established who these adult students are, then you can begin to talk about the challenges and issues and problems that they face. And so for stop three, remember, stop three is present the problem. Well, what problems are out there that are being faced by these adult students? And so the heading that I've chosen here would be challenges and issues faced by adult students. And then you make some general comments. Adult students face challenges that normal, traditional students, I don't want to use normal, that traditional students do not face. And here you're going to use your research again. Again, you're going to go to the CSU Online Library and you're going to find some of those. Now, you guys are experiencing this right now. These are things where your personal experience, even though you can't say, give your personal experience, but you're going to look at it and go, yeah, there are financial challenges. There are work-life balance challenges. There's the length of time since I last attended school. And then there are a host of other issues. And so what I would do in this situation for stop three, when you present the problem, provide a general heading like this. And then you can begin to have subheadings that fall under this main heading that highlight these challenges and issues. And so This is how I would utilize headings to present the problems for stop 3. Now, once you've presented these problems, you're ready to provide some solutions. Again, you can go to the CSU Online Library to find out some research to see what organizations and universities and individuals are doing to address these problems. But this is the solutions part, which is stop 4 on the 6-stop process. Well, interestingly enough, if you present, we'll just say what I used here, 4 challenges or 4 issues or 4 problems, then you need to provide 4 solutions, right? And so if there are financial challenges, then you can come down here and provide a financial challenge solution, okay? And then you could provide a work-life balance solution, a length of time since last attended college solution, and other types of issues that you may have found the solution to those. And see how these all begin to fall together? So that is stop 4, the solutions. Now, the next stop is stop 5, which would be implementation. Well, now that you've identified problems and challenges faced by adult students, and now you've provided some solutions to those challenges, now you could talk about how do you implement the solutions that you've proposed. Now, I put this in a totally different section. Again, I'm using the same subheadings because if you present a problem, you provide a solution, then you need to implement that solution for that individual heading. What you could do, and I don't want to confuse you, but I invariably get this question from students, is you can actually combine the implementation and solution areas. So this could be proposed solutions and implementation to adult student challenges, and you could do both stop 4 and stop 5 in the same section. You don't need to necessarily put these into 2 different sections. I just put them in 2 here to highlight the fact that you need to make sure that you provide implementation strategies for those. And then finally, the last stop is stop 6, which is the conclusion. Here you summarize the key takeaways of the paper. You don't provide any new information here. This is just a summary of what you found as it relates to your paper. It's also the point where you circle back to your purpose and make sure that you have satisfied the purpose that you set out to in the introduction. And then finally, you have your reference section. By the way, you're probably going to have about 10 or more sources that support your paper here by the time you finish up with this in Module 7. So hopefully this was a good example for you of how you can use the 6-stop process in the paper. I would encourage you to make sure that you begin to apply your papers this way because it will give you a writing strategy, not only in this course, but in future courses that will help guide the reader down a pathway, and it'll help you provide some discipline in your writing as you go forward. Okay, if you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm always happy to chat with you about these types of things. Take care.